Dear friends, in today's session, we have to discuss the use of scanf and what is the use of scanf and why we need the scanf. Scanf is a input function which is used to input value at runtime. In previous class, we discussed printf as an output function which is used to display the output on the screen or put the output on the console. Console and screen having equal meaning. Whatever the previous program we are writing, the value is fixed. Whenever you run the program, you will be getting the fixed value. But what we need, the value should be get changed. Every time you run the program, you input new value so that you will get the new result. How it is possible? By the help of a standard library function just like printf, that is scanf. What is the syntax of scanf? Scanf, format string and address of variable. Format string means you can use %d for integer, %c for character, %f for float, %lf for double. Address of variable means you have to use ampersand. Ampersand is known as your address operator followed by the variable. At a time, many format string and more than one address variable you can post to input the value. You have to remember memory is made up of intersection of rows and column, and every partition is known as your cell or sector, and in each and every cell the value is stored in the form of ones and zeros, which will be described in later part of the slides. Now, how the scanf works? Suppose we want to input a integer value at a runtime, then display. What you have to write? There is no need to describe header file, main function. We directly comes to the logic part. Integer x means x is a integer variable where you can store the integer value. Then you have to use printf enter the value for user understanding. If you don't use print enter value, no problem. Directly you can input the value, but for user friendliness factor, you have to use enter value because you ask you to enter the value. Then scanf. Scanf is the function through which you can input the value, and the syntax tell format string %d is the format string for integer. Address of variable, that is ampersand x. If you don't give ampersand, the value will not input and the wrong result will be carried. Then after inputting the value, you have to display the value. Then the display function is used, that is known as your printf function. Value equal to %d. Why you have written %d? But the value resulted is a integer. For integer value, the format string is %d. Then the variable is x. Then format string and x. What is the meaning of value? Value is the message. In the printf syntax, you have seen there is three parts. One is message, one is format string, one is variable, that is verified. And getCH is used to making the purging activity, which means that after running the program, it display the output. There is no need of putting Alt F5 or window user screen or anything else. But getCH is optional and clear screen is also optional. If you run this program, the result will be visualized to the user as enter value. Suppose we give the value 1000, we will be getting the result 1000. Suppose we enter the value 500, we will be getting the result 500, because the new value you enter and the new result will be carried. We have to run this program in the latter part by the help of your online compiler. Then the next example. Before going to the next example, we have described here how and what is the essential of address operator. Because previously I have just told before few minutes, memory is made up of intersection of rows and column. These small cells like in a yellow color and this is in copper sulfate or brown color, all the partitions, small location is known as your cell, which is known as your memory cell, and interconnection of a memory cell makes a computer memory. Means thousands of memory cell will be there where the values will be stored in 1 and 0, because the computer we are using as the binary computer, and each cell has a particular address, maybe 0 1 2 3, like crores of value can be stored in crores of memory areas. Hence memory is made up of intersection of rows and column, forms the number of sector or cell. Each cell has an address. To hold the address, we use the symbol that is ampersand. Ampersand is known as your address operator, which is known as address operator, without which the value cannot store in a particular memory. Then the second example we are discussing here, we have to input different types of value at the runtime, then display. Here we have taken integer variable, character variable, float variable, and a user defined message is given for better understanding, that is enter value. We can give enter integer, character, float, or individually we can enter value scanf %d %x, enter value %c %y, but better readability, understandability, and reusing the code, or in the less code we can write in the single line. Scanf, three values to be entered. One is %d for integer, %c for character, %f for float. All are belongs to format string, and the list of variable as the address variable include address of x, address of y, address of z. After inputting the value, if you want to display those values, then we have to use printf. The message is value, %d is for integer, %c is the character, %f for the float, and the list of variable that is used x, y, z. And if you run the program, then it asks you to enter the value. Suppose you enter first integer as 10, character as a, 10.6 as float, the value will be displayed accordingly. And we have to run this program by the help of the online compiler. In the next slide, we are displaying, if we run the program in the online compiler, the output will come like this, because we write the code here. If we run this program, the output will be visualized like this, because in the enter value we enter 10, a, and 2.8, that is integer, character, and float. Then the value is a display. Whatever the value you enter, code is the same what we have understand in the previous slide. Now we have to move to the online editor and run this program. Let's see what you have to do. You have to go to your online compiler. I have written how you have to open this online compiler. You can move to your data pack should be on, or the internet connection should be on. Then what you have to do, you have to open your Google Chrome browser, or whatever the browser your system having. Suppose I have the Google Chrome browser. I enter Google Chrome. Then you write online compiler C. When you click on the online compiler C, the link will be appear. You click over there and the compiler will appear. Then you write the code here, because the main function block is being given, that editor is open. Now you can write the program in this editor. How you have to write? It is written here, because I have opened in the another editor. See, integer x, character y, float z, everything is written. But why clear screen is not written here in online editor? In the previous turbo editor we are writing, because every time it run, it automatically clear the screen. Why I have not written the getCS function here? The answer is it automatically gives the pausing activity. As we have discussed, the header file is used std.h, that is written. If we run this program, then it asks you to enter the value. Same thing I am doing. Suppose I enter 100, a, and 3.8. By pressing enter, it will display the same output. Every time I run the program, it asks you to enter the value. You will be entering the value and you will be getting the result. In this way, you can run all the program either in the Turbo C editor, ANSI editor, Borderland editor, or any type of online compiler. I think you understand today's talking, what we have discussed, and hoping all are clarified. And in the next class, we will be discussing some of the example. Basically, real life application required belongs to printf and scanf, because till now we have completed two functions which is important in all aspects. If you don't know any other function, one is printf and one is scanf. Printf is a output function, whereas the scanf is a input function, which is most essential. By using those functions, in the next class we have to discuss more example like finding area of a circle, find area of a rectangle, interchange number. In the next class we have to discuss. I hope today's session, today's discussion, you understand better. And if you have any doubt or clarification, please make the comments. We try to solve the problem. And if this session likes to you, please, those are not subscribed, kindly subscribe it, like it as you like, and hoping the best in the next class. Bye bye now.